it.
One.
What's up, guys? Shit-faced sober. We out here, Jeff N.
Kyle.
And we got a guest here straight from the fucking bush, South Africa, Owen.
Owen.
What's up, Owen?
Hey, guys.
Owen, how much sober time you have, man?
More than enough right now. I've got about 2 years, 2 months, 3 days, and 1 hour and 31 minutes, 42 seconds.
Damn, that's
right.
specific.
That is specific.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah. All right, man.
It is a long time.
So welcome to Shit-Faced Sober.
Thanks, guys.
I thought Owen would be a perfect guest because we really want to know what's it like being an African sober in America, dude. So, what's it like to be you?
That's a tricky question. What's it like to be an African was the first where I got a little lost, but I'm a sober African man, and when I get my green card, I'll be an African American, legitimately. And on top of that, I'll be sober. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a sober African American, dog. Like, that's a limited species I hear out here, bro. So
Welcome.
I'm pretty chuffed about it, and I blend in quite well with you boys, I think. And it is as easy as pie. Because there's so many meetings and guys like you.
So how long have you been in Florida for now? Because you came from the West Coast.
Yeah, I know. Well, I actually landed here. I came by ship.
Yeah.
I was in the cargo section. We got smuggled in with a bunch of corn, and it's been here. I've been here for a while, man. I landed in Miami. That was wonderful. I had a better chance of staying here if I swam here from Cuba.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Since then, it's been about 10, 12 wonderful years. Landed in Florida. Migrated up north to New York. Loved that fucking place. God damn, love New York. And then I ended up in L.A., and I have no idea how I ended up there, but well, I do know. I mean, there's a lot of drugs, and it seemed like a party town, and there was a lot of allure, But since then, it's just been a wild ride, being back in Florida. It's been wonderful, actually, gentlemen.
What do you like better about Florida than California, and what do you don't like as much as California?
Oh my God, there's so many differences. When you go to Europe and you can land in France or Italy and you can just take a train for 2-3 hours and you're in another country. That's the diversity and to the degree of culture, language, not really color, but culture and language. They're massive. Here you got this fucking continent. It's all American, so you guys share a lot of stuff. But goddamn, there's a big difference between Florida and California, bro.
What do you like better?
Oh, shit. I like the mountains in California, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you like
Honestly,
about here?
Everyone fucking pretends to be friendly there. It's bullshit.
Yes.
It's all fucking, it's like an actor. When I landed there, I went for Hollywood. I got Hollywood without even really being in Hollywood. I thought it was all movies and shit, but it's the culture. It's very like fucking, and this is personal opinion. I mean, full disclosure, don't hold it against me. I love my time in California. There are guys that I like there, but Florida is way more real. Here I can drive down the road and I wave to everybody. I'm like, hey, good morning, what's up?
Yeah,
and it was
it's
like,
a
hey,
common
dude,
thing.
Hey, yeah, how y'all doing? Yeah, how can I help you? It's so cool, and they fucking mean it. They're not doing it just to like be cool. California's full of shit, and you know how you tell it? By being in the fucking traffic.
Yeah.
In the traffic. Here it's like you'll get a honk is what you guys, we say hoot. You say honk. I like honk. So you'll get a honk every once in a while here if you're being an asshole or there's a big truck behind you. California, it's like a given. Like traffic's just like murder zone, like 101, murder zone. It's like, I'm more important than you. I'm going to be late. It's all very, it's just painful.
Wait, question.
It's fucking painful.
Go back to this hoot and honk thing. So this is a real question
Yeah, but
for me.
we call Hooter, you call them breasts, right? Hooters.
Titties.
Brisk? I never heard that.
Breasts.
A breast.
Breasts.
Yeah.
Chicken breast from
Brisk.
Zaxby's.
It's funny how we all speak
Yeah.
English, and it comes from the Queen's English, yet y'all down here don't
Yeah.
fucking understand
Fuck
what I'm saying.
We don't have queens here, bro.
Yeah, there's no queens
Well,
here.
there are queens, but
There
they're
are
not
queens.
royal.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of queens in Florida.
Right?
Yeah.
But to it, right, like South Africa, you guys call trucks lorries, And then you all
Lorries.
be robbing.
That's a big truck. It's a lorry, yeah.
Yeah, and you rob the lorries. It's like a thing out there. It's a sport.
Yeah.
Like you grow up robbing lorries. Have you ever robbed a lorry?
No, but I stole one.
Like you got in the driver's seat?
No, I hijacked him.
And you ran up on him and he was delivering
Well,
his
to be honest,
bread.
I don't know. Is this going live?
We're going to post it. So just
Yeah.
fucking say it, dude.
Yeah.
Just spread eagle this story.
Yeah, man. No, it was a hijacking.
I'm interested.
I'm not proud of it at all. I was deep in my addiction. And
How old were you?
I don't know, I must have been like 18, 19, maybe 20,
And you
somewhere
guys
in there.
fast and furious on that lorry?
Yeah.
How many of you?
Wasn't me. I paid someone to do it. I needed the truck. I used to do it. Oh,
You
fuck,
needed
I'm
the. What did you need the truck for?
I can't go down here. You can't do this to me.
Okay, we won't do the story. Then.
All right, cool.
Okay, let's get into this. Okay, cool. So, what's your life like today? Well, just 1 minute. Fucking, what's your life look like? Beautiful, ugly, all of it.
Fuck, man. It's conflicting. It's beautiful that I'm sober. It's wonderful the new people I get to hang around with in the ecosystem. Right, like it's way more inclined to a healthy living and relationships and bonds, real connections, which I never had. Right. But at the same time, it's fucking scary because just, I come from a lineage of just bad behavior and then acclimating to a new lifestyle. It's conducive on behavior. Like, it's not just staying away from drugs and alcohol. It's your behavior, everything.
Well,
really
it's like you
changes,
take away
right?
drugs and alcohol, you still are uncomfortable and restless, irritable, discontent,
yeah.
and so you just don't have a cure now. And your
So I
cure
guess the short answer is it's beautiful, but it can be very difficult. It has been challenging at times, sure, to face realities about me to the exclusion of drugs and alcohol. It's like, oh shit, I need to change this too now.
but you obviously it's worth it because you're staying sober 2 years.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
fucking
love it. I
awesome.
wouldn't change it for a thing. I really want. I had a using dream last night. It was fucking wild.
Okay,
man.
what'd you use? And I love
yeah, I
those.
like that.
Yeah, I haven't had them. I don't have them like this. So like ethereal or whatever the word is. Fuck me, where you feel it. My wife would always
Right.
wake up and say, "Fuck, I did blow last night, and I fucking got high," and I'd be like super jealous because my dreams have always been like faded. They're like black and
Yeah,
white.
no, I get that.
I don't even feel like I'm present in my fucking dreams. But this one was like, oh, I got some acid. All right, I'm gonna drop some fucking caps. And then some guy's like, oh, here's some heroin. You can have that for later on. I'm like, oh, it's only gonna be just for today.
Yeah, nobody will
Take
know.
it.
Did you feel guilty?
Yeah, no, I felt high.
When you woke
bro.
up, though, did you feel guilty? Because when I've had
No.
using dreams, I've woken
No.
up and I was pissed. I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I also had to take a drug test that morning. I was like, fuck, dude.
I'm
You know what
lost
I mean?
it all.
I fucked up.
Well, I've had using dreams and I wake up and I feel like, oh fuck, I just gave up 12 years or I
Yeah.
gave up 10 years, whatever it was. I get like one every couple of years, but now I've learned to savor them, where it's like my free chance to like do what I love, which
They
is
call
get
it
high.
oh no, it's not a free lapse. That's
A free lapse is like if somebody spikes your drink or you
Yeah.
take a drink of a beer on accident. I mean, like, or you're in a room where everyone's smoking weed and you get contact high.
like me in Vegas last week.
Right? Exactly. So, I mean, drug dream, you fucking loved it.
I loved it.
Great job.
It was wonderful.
High five.
I
I'm
know.
jealous.
I loved it though.
Yeah,
I
I'm
woke
kinda
up and I was
jealous.
like, fuck yeah, because I really wanted to have another fucking trip of acid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that one day, like, we'll have some inception shit and like we'll be able to plug into a machine and like it won't count.
I know.
You know what I mean?
know science hasn't,
Yeah, but if you make that
hold on
conscious
to that.
decision, if you're making this conscious decision of like, it does count though, right? Like that's some inception shit of like,
Well, let's
beating
cross that
around.
bridge once
Yeah.
that technology's there.
somebody make this content or this invention. Because
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You know what I mean? But like, okay, back to fucking Owen.
Yes,
Okay,
sir, yeah.
so what happened this time you got sober? Because I remember you told me it took you a few times to get sober. So this, 2+ year run, what happened this time that you think made the difference that made it stick? Like, was it people, sponsorship, steps, honesty, meetings, routine? What happened this time that you think made the biggest impact on your sobriety?
So there's two parts. What took me over the hill to stay, right?
Like for this 2-year period.
Right.
Like what was different this time than the other times?
So the breaking point, like the breaking point I was at when I decided to come back in.
So
is
the
what-
bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bottom wasn't my bottom at all. There
you've
was
had a worse bottom.
Oh, fuck yeah. This was easy shit.
Yeah.
I had money, I had jobs, I had cars, I had my wife, had, home, the whole thing. But I was completely just so fucking, I don't know, man. It's so deep in me, that feeling, like it's never left me. It was just such a break that it was just despair, like complete despair, which I've never felt. I can't say I've never felt it before, but maybe not at this level or maybe at this age. I don't know what the fucking.
What about action though? So like if somebody's newly sober and like there was something that you
I
did
committed.
this go.
I committed. Like
Surrendered.
completely. Like I don't even know if it was. Yeah, you could say surrendered. I just committed. I was like, there's no fucking way I want to feel like that again ever.
Did you
Like,
do like 90 and 90? You got a sponsor. You
oh,
called
bro,
them every
I
day.
did.
What
I
was
did
your
like,
action?
So 270 in 90.
Wow.
Is what I did.
Oh, 3
That's
a day.
impressive.
I did 3 a day, but this was COVID.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
so
sober in
you're doing
COVID. I
Zoom
did a
meetings.
meeting in the morning. I'd one at 7 or 8 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 7 p.m. every day. And that's all I did.
And you're a cool dude. And with a lot of shit going on, you got businesses, you got opportunities, you got a wife, you got dogs, you got a full fucking life.
Yeah, there was
from what
no
I know.
way I just
and
had
you've
to.
made it fit.
Yeah.
So anybody that's new, that's saying, I can't make this fit my schedule,
Then you're not ready.
you're not ready. Because if
No.
a fucking cool South African dude
That's right.
that's has a lot of shit
You
going
can say
on,
cool one more time.
the coolest,
The
South
coolest, yeah,
African
yeah.
dude is fucking making times for 3 meetings a day.
Yeah.
Like, and he's sticking with it and enjoying it. Or, I mean, I'm sure you didn't at first, but the point is that you can make it work too.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this too. Like, so when you did hit those meetings, because there's a difference between just showing up to a meeting and being present, or showing up to a meeting and reaching out to different guys that, you know, and asking questions. It's a big thing. Like, so some people don't know how to ask that question of, like, you know, like I had a friend call me earlier today, and he's sober. You know, he's showing up, but he's like asked that question of like, did you have that feeling? What was your feeling at this amount of time, and why am I feeling like this? You know, like reaching out to guys and stuff.
Oh, so easy.
Yeah.
In a meeting, I find like in-person meetings, you're either looking at a bunch of heads, the back of them,
Yeah.
right, depending on how it's set up, or you're in a circle and it's a little intimidating. There is that feeling of like, even when I was coming here after 2 years in LA of being sober, coming into a meeting here, I still kind of have that like, you know, I'm a little uncomfortable. Who's this motherfucker? And check his tattoos and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I still have that social anxiety, so to speak, right? But on a meeting, I got all these fucking squares. I'm looking you in the eye. I'm reading your name, and I'm seeing you every day. So there's a connection made a lot quicker with more of the room than me walking into a meeting with 60 guys that I'm speaking to the guy maybe next to me and maybe the guy who greeted me on the way in. So that intimacy and that level of connection is created a lot quicker, I find, on Zoom.
Right.
And this is my experience, right? And I've been doing meetings since I was like 17.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
Yeah, I've been in meetings for a long ass time, on and off, obviously, but and all the wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. Was always escaping something, right? So to your point or your question, on Zoom, there's regardless of what people think, it's like, oh, it's not the same as a live meeting. I call bullshit on that because, again, I have that connection. You have the chat. The guys are putting their numbers in, and every time I'd be on a meeting, I'd just be like, hey, guys, just put your numbers in the chat. Just in the chat if I wasn't, you know, brave enough to say anything. And when I went in my first meeting, I had my hoodie on, right? And dark room, I got my hoodie on. I'm like, hey, man. And first I didn't even have my camera on. So it kind of, I got to assimilate into it. I got comfortable. The new camera comes on. I'm in a dark room. Guys remember the angry little fucking guy in the corner. And then the light goes on like 3 weeks in. And then the hoodie goes on for like 5 weeks in. And then by the 6th or 7th week, I already got some numbers. Like the buildup was a lot quicker for me that I found than being in a meeting, a physical meeting. Like it
Right.
was just easier for me. Thank
Dope.
God it was fucking easy for me because I am a difficult motherfucker to get sober.
You thought
been
you were
a minute.
unique, and now you're fucking
No,
one of
not
us.
unique in the way that I thought I could never get sober.
Yeah, I mean that's most people. They come in your eye. You don't have my problems. You
Yeah.
don't have this. You know, I watched this really fucked
I
up
don't
video
play the
yesterday.
game. I don't play the self-pity shit.
But I mean, I'm just saying, majority of people.
No, I get it. I get
And then
it.
now we're all
I
one
was
of the
just like,
same.
I'm born. This is what I do. I do it well. I get fucked up really well. You know what I
Same.
mean? Like, this is just, it's in my blood. There's no way around this until I had that point, which is in the back of this fucking, I'm in the fucking South Central ghetto vibe. This is the funny thing, bro.
Tell me the funny.
So now I work in South Central LA. Fuck, my boys, what's up? And I'm the only white dude, like bottom line, I'm the only white dude, but I'm from Africa, so I don't think I'm a white dude. That's
Yeah.
just how I am. You know, I speak 3 black languages or African language, whatever you want. There's no PC with me because this is how I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think, what's his name? Theo Vaughn kind of rolled along this kind of line too when he was sharing about his best friend was black and blah, 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 and this. I kind of get the same thing. Like, I don't see that color bullshit
Yeah.
that you all fucking fixated on, right?
Yeah.
So I would roll down there, I'd open up the door, I'd have some meth there and some fucking crack hoes. Like a lot of my friends or people that I knew were all crackheads, right? Because this is where I'm at. Like it's legit. Like they're smoking the pop, hey, oh, and how you doing? Or Dutch or whatever. I'm like, hey, what's up, fools? A lot of them are dead or died or whatever along the way. I've been there like 6 years. But shit, where was I going with this? Oh, I would see a white dude. And he was probably a drug addict, fiending, walking down the road, right? And he's like walking down. I'm like, what the fuck is that dude doing in this hood? And I catch myself thinking like that. I'm like, fucking, who's this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
We don't like your kind.
Yeah, bro. So it's
You're
like,
get
it's
out
just
of here.
to my point, it's like I always just had this image of who Owen is, and I've always been that guy that fits in or melts in anywhere.
I agree.
I even had the cops when I ran away from boarding school, and I was a naughty. I was just, there's adolescence, whatever. That's what my best teacher used to tell my parents. So I ended up running away. It was all boys school, 2,000 boys, and the halls built like a fucking coffin for all the guys that went to war. Like, this is an army school, right? So I broke out to go visit this girl. I was madly in love with this chick. And I got back, and then they said, "Oh, and you got caught, bro. You big shit." I was like, "Oh, fuck this." I just ran. I jumped on a train, fucking went to East London, came back. Cops came looking for me. They're searching for this little white dude in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? And I went to my boy's house, and I was hanging out in the backyard, and I could hear the cops roll up. The mom, Mr. Nono, was there. And I went in the shack in the back, in the garden shack, and I ducked down like this, and we have shaved heads. We had boarding school. So I'm lying down, and the cops are coming around, and they came in, and they didn't have their flashlight like on me, and he grabbed my head, and I was like, "Morwenu Funantoni," and they were like, "Okay, cool, that's one of the dudes," and they left me, bro. But I was so fucking stoned and high. I was like, "Fuck."
How old were you?
Like 14.
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Damn, I need a fucking pee." So I walk outside, I'm peeing on the wall, and all the flashlights over the head with the mag. Dragged me to the van. They locked me up for 21 days.
Because they smelled your pee, dude. In Africa, they can smell the trackers.
Yeah, they can smell the trackers. They can. Bro, we can go tracking like in the bush, right? My brother-in-law owns a farm.
Do you ever try to track people in America? Like you're walking around, you smell a scent, and you're like,
no,
"This
but
is
listen
the same
how good
bum.
we are at tracking.
This is the same bum
No.
I smelled yesterday."
No.
No?
No. My sense of smell's gone from cultivating cannabis, like all the terpenes just blowing up my fucking sense of smell. But we'd be driving in a four-wheel, in a tracking van, right? And I swear, Elliot will he's one of the trackers, he'll just lean over on like these millions of grains of grass, and he'll pull one, and there's a tiny little black droplet of oil, and he'll be like, "Oh, this is Sheena, she just came past here." And it's like a lemon.
How accurate
is
that?
A lipid marking. Oh, they're fucking phenomenal.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hang
just
out
talk
with
about
this guy.
tracking. So
Yeah.
next, move on.
Duh. I mean, honestly, I think like that's a South Africa. I think that's just an African thing in general. I'll tell you a funny story, and then we'll get on to the fucking next question, right? But the first time I ever went to Africa, I landed in Rwanda, and when they opened the fucking plane door, I remember the fucking smell, bro.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and honestly, I think there's something deep in our genetic code that because Africa is the cradle of civilization, like smell is a sense of safety. Like we were good at smell thousands of years ago as humans or as animals because we knew that this was home and this was a bad area. We used smell to differentiate which was safe and which was danger. And so when I smelled that first waft of Rwandan air, it just smelled like home. It smelled safe.
Wow.
And I think it's deep in my genetic code or our genetic code that like because that was a cradle of civilization that's where we like the smell of home. But then I started going to like shitholes in Africa and then I was like, "Oh fuck, this smells bad. I should go. I should leave."
Yeah. Africa's full of smells.
Yeah, it's got.
So I love it.
It's got smells, but this was smell.
They're
was
real
natural.
smells.
They're real smells.
It's a real smell. It's
Yeah.
like a shitty smell.
It's not a chemical fire.
It's not a chemical fire.
Yeah.
It's not fucking Chateau de Chanel on fucking freaking, in Beverly
Yeah.
Hills.
I've never been to Africa,
It's
so.
we call
But
it
I just imagine it being a crisp smell whenever.
Oh, it's
like,
beautiful.
So
Something like you gotta go. We gotta go. We should all go to Africa and do a podcast from there, like
we'll
in the
do
bush.
shit-faced sober Africa.
We should, yeah.
Okay, so check this out.
Shit-faced Bushman.
What's the most fucked up thing you've seen a sober person do? I mean, this could be financial. It could be just like showing up to a meeting, acting a fool, getting naked. I've heard a ton of sober fucked up stories. So what's the most fucked up thing you've seen sober?
I mean, fucked up. I haven't seen one. I've heard one.
Okay, let's
Does
hear
that
it.
qualify?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
My sponsor, and he was explaining to me about, a sponsor he had and a friend he had, blah, blah, blah. And what happened, the reason it came up is my sponsor's 72 and his wife's 29, right? And I was like, damn, you guys got
Gangster.
this down. This is what makes, sobriety attractive to me. I want to be that guy rolling around in a Rari with like an 18-year-old girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, when I'm 72. And that's what just kept me in, right? But then he told me the story about, you got to be careful about who you choose as your sponsor, because this dude, he, like him, had a hot wife, road, and he brought his sponsee over to the house. Like 3 months later, that sponsor's gone. That sponsee's in the house with that girl. And I was like, fuck, this place is
shit.
fucked.
I've seen that. My first rodeo, my first time getting sober, my buddy
like,
was hooking up with his sponsor's girlfriend.
I'm just like,
yeah,
that
that's
is
dirty,
fucked
dog.
up.
Yeah,
Because
fucked up.
you come in, it's like, oh, this is brotherhood.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you
And
feel-
you
you
don't
feel safe.
Fuck with your, you guys, girl.
Yeah,
your
of
brotherhood,
course.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he just moved in and he moved out and they swapped roles. I'm like, you fucking
Well, dude, I
Damn.
think that's a
That's fucked
California
up,
thing
right?
too. I think it's a California thing.
Is
It's
it?
like in California, when I grew up in Texas, but when I moved to California, like I just knew, like you don't like hook up with your homie's chicks, right? You just don't. Like your homie breaks up with
So
his girl,
caddy's just like a free for all.
right? Yeah.
Club.
Like if your friend. Also, I think they use it as a status. Like, oh, my friend, if he had her and then I can get her, I'm as good as him.
Right.
Right. It's a status thing
I get it,
rather
30
than
years.
versus being like, I'm gonna be friends with you for life. Like I'm not gonna fuck that up over anything.
Yeah.
You know
well,
what I mean?
that was probably the only. Well, I mean, I've seen guys come in fucked up, which is okay.
Oh, I like
and-
Bernie Madoff of fucking AA, like guys that just go around like borrowing money or fucking like raising capital or investments and shit and just burning everybody and then
I got
hopping
burnt.
meetings.
Oh, that's fucked up. I got burnt too, man.
Yeah.
Well,
It
my
happens.
last 10 stacks is like, yeah, I'm gonna give it back to you in a month. I got 5 years sober. Here's my boardroom. Blah blah blah. Lend me the money. I was like, okay, man, this is the last thing I had. I just went through shit and lost everything. But he's telling me he'll give me like a 20%, 30 on the return. I was like, okay, let me give you what I have. I'll go make some more money. I'll circle back and I'll know at least I've leveraged that money for something,
All right.
right? Motherfucker, bro, I end up sending like fucking rolling 60s over to his fucking place, bro. This is 6 months later, nothing back from him. You know what I mean? And eventually I had to work through the steps and that whole thing and like let
Resentment.
it go. And yeah, meanwhile, he's like in Bel Air and this whole family thing. It's like, you don't expect this in AA, and I don't think this is a good message for AA.
Yeah.
But AA is not to the exclusion of assholes.
Oh, of
You
course.
You
they-
can
it's still
teach
human.
someone. Look, if you're in AA and someone's asking you to borrow money, you're totally chill to say no.
You just say no. It's not
just
totally
say
chill.
no.
You just say no.
You just say it. That's
just say
that's
no.
fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and if you do, like, I've had friends in tough spots. I've been in tough spots in early sobriety myself, and I just give it as a gift. If I really feel like I need to help that person, it's a fucking gift.
It's a gift.
And then
Not
I-
expecting anything in
It's
return.
that is
Yeah.
the most important information I was given, and this was like my first year was Owen. If you're going to, and from my sponsor, if you're going to give, because I'm a sucker for that, I want to help,
Right,
and give what I
right.
can, and when I
It
can.
feels good.
Not only that, I don't know if I feel fucking. I've been there, and I'd
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
that's a
help you.
big
I
thing.
got this like fucking guilt thing, like maybe I shouldn't have what I have, or be where I am, or whatever the case might be.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, here we go. I want to help you out. And then I end up feeling resentful because this fucker said he'd give it back to me. I mean, this is one position. Well, exclusion was because I was down. But mostly, I do that. And my sponsor's like, oh, and you got to stop doing this because guys keep calling me. I'll
Yeah.
get a call now from a dude in LA asking me for money. I guarantee you in the next 30 minutes. I guarantee.
This happens daily.
Not daily, but daily.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean-
because this guy's on to me because I've helped him out so many times. Now it's like I'm this breast.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like,
He's
hey,
milking
oh,
you.
and I just had an accident. I need money, and I'm trying to do my fourth step. I'm
dude.
like, you can't leverage the program.
I'm
against
taking
me
my
anymore,
shoes off.
You know.
No, like you have your shoes off, like all African tribal
Yeah,
and
we
shit
do.
in here.
I
like,
wouldn't wear shoes at all. But
I'm
with
taking mine
age,
off.
my fucking heels crack now, which is a bullshit fucking story. I was looking at a dude yesterday, and he was barefoot, bro, and his heels had no cracks. And I was like, fuck you, man, because I want that shit back. I want smooth skin back.
Well, you got to put like lotion on
I
the
do,
feet.
man. I do all kinds of shit, and it's just upsetting. And I think it's age. We got to get comfortable with that. I heard some bad news. You didn't like old people. It's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming.
I know. I'm gonna be that old person too, but I just hope they. I hope that they ship me off to like a fucking place like Palatka or Ocala when I'm old.
Palatka.
Like, ship me off.
Someone told me about Palatka.
Yeah, old people
We should
shouldn't.
take a trip there one day.
Okay.
It's horrible, no?
Unpopular opinion. All right, we don't gonna go in a rabbit hole, Kyle. Old people shouldn't work service jobs. Okay, I got a big resentment at it, but they're slower. They don't have logic. I'll give you a perfect example. I was at the bank, right? Lady at the bank. she's like, oh, you know, if you have a certain balance in your bank account, they give you free cashier's check. So I'm like, cool, give me a cashier's check for this new business I just started, right? I'm getting a rent check. So she's like, oh, it's gonna be $15. I was like, oh no, just check my personal account. I'm at the level where I get free cashier's checks. It's $15, right? Which whatever, $15 times every month for a year is $180. That's like a nice dinner or 2 pairs of shoes or some shit, right? So I was like, you know, like go to my bank account. She's like, well, that's because your main account has, you know, the balance to get the free cash, you know, checks, but your business account, it needs to, you know, qualify for 3 months of average balance before you get them for free. I was like, okay, well, let me get this straight. I can get a free cashier's check from my business account. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go and transfer money from my business account to my personal and put a memo in there saying, business cost, and transfer the money back to my personal account. So I get the free cashier's check, but then you have to go and do this extra transfer, wasting more time, my time, your time, business's time, profits, right? And then she looked at me like, you're right. Like, actually, that doesn't make sense. And then I just wasted like 3 minutes of my life explaining.
Yeah, but it's really impressive how quick you kind of like put her in her place, right? But to her point, she didn't argue with you. She was like, you're right.
But I had to get a manager there, and then they waived the fee and yada yada. But I mean, like at the end of the day, like
you wasted another 10 minutes.
Like somebody young on their toes, they're gonna know the shit. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Yeah, I do think so. And also, like when I'm on an airplane, like I get, you know, whatever. I don't even want to go down this
Let's
fucking
not
rabbit
go
hole.
down this road because I know a lot of.
Yeah, I know
like
it's
this
sweet.
rabbit hole.
It's fucking sweet. But anyways, I feel way better with my shoes off. It's
Good,
nice.
good.
Okay.
Should I take my
Back
shoes
to
off?
feet.
I'm gonna leave them
Yeah,
on.
take your fucking shoes off, man. Well, I'll be barefoot here, like Africa. You know, like there's this thing. Like every time I think of Africa too, I think of Blood Diamond. I think of Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's like, "Listen to me, bro. We are going to get the diamond, and you are going to do what I tell you to do, and then the earth is going to heal us, and the blood of the earth." How do you like the Africa?
That's okay.
You like it?
Okay, yeah. The
Listen,
brew is
brew.
there, you know. It is brew. It's just one of the things we say, and it's horrible actually. Well, it's not. I mean, we would say brew. Hey, brew. We say how's it, brew, and you say how's it, brew, and we call each other China, and it's got nothing to do with China. It's like, hey, my China, you know, like my connection, my guy.
China.
You know what I have noticed
we got
since
little terms of endearment, you know, everyone
so
does.
I've known Owen for a few months now, and I've noticed a little Southern twang come into this, guys.
I'm an actor by trade.
Yeah.
and it's way easier. I mean, that's because of my life story, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of explained it to you, me being able to like blend in
Adapt.
anywhere. Yeah, I had to, and it was survival. So I leveraged that and I was on TV for a
But it's
couple years.
real,
like
though.
7
It's
years.
not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fake to me.
No, because it is because it's like it's assimilation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like I don't know if it says like I'm not comfortable or strong enough in my own personality to be talk the way I usually talk, like a South African, like when I'm talking to my mom.
But
you know?
we love South African accents.
But when
Yeah,
I
I do.
speak to you guys, you all fucking pull this like dumbfounded face because you don't know what I'm saying. So I got to say water, and I got to like, you know,
That's
I
how
got
you say it.
I got to talk with this like a little enunciation. There's no musicality in American dialect.
Okay, but look,
we
instead
have a lot
of
of
dogging
musicality.
American dialect,
I'm not
on
dogging it.
You know what I mean? But like
Musicality.
I love accents. Like I like talking to someone more with an accent. I think that's what drew me to you. I met you at a meeting. You were standing out front. You gave me your number. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to talk to this guy again. But we ended up talking, right? We ended up being friends, you know? And then I think not a lot, I think maybe 30% of the reason I enjoyed talking with you more when I went through my phone to make my AA calls is like, oh, I'm going to call Owen because he's got an accent and it's kind of like music. And I'm like, you know, it's a pleasurable sound.
Wow,
And
is that it, huh?
So I think the reason you get so many phone calls,
Thank you. I'll just say thank you.
it's
I'll
like
be
a
polite.
lullaby, like a talking a man lullaby.
A man lullaby.
Sometimes that's the best response. Thank
know?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I do enjoy
Thank you.
I like the man lullaby.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go. Let's fucking move on right here, dude. Okay, so Owen, you got 3 dogs. Owen treats his dogs like they're fucking children, right? He treats them like he buys them the human food. We went to a dog store and you spent $200, $300 on a week's worth of dog food. I don't even eat that much food myself.
Was it refrigerated? Was it from like the
it was
freezer?
refrigerated.
Yeah, refrigerated.
And it was
that's
like
when you know.
whole grain vegan
I like
shit.
that. Yeah.
So
Those dogs are living a life.
If Satan showed up right here, dude, poof, right? When I was a kid, I used to like coerce my brother to sleep in my room because I was worried that Satan was going to come up and take me. And then I didn't want it. I wanted Satan to take my brother and me together. So I'd always be like, "Hey, sleep in my room." Right? So we both go to hell together, right? But so Satan shows up right here, right now, and he has a bunch of drugs on him, dude. You know, the satanic drugs, right? The fucking worst ones. And he says either you or your dog is getting high right now. Who's it going to be, dude?
Me.
You're getting high over your dog?
Oh, yeah, dog.
Oh.
No, you know why? Because they've been high.
The
They
dog
didn't like it.
They didn't like it?
Yeah, and they're small. They're Frenchies. Kingston hasn't been high, but Kai and Cooper have been high.
Did your dogs tell you they didn't like it?
No, they didn't. They were, you know.
Because I don't know how you're going to come to this
and
conclusion.
it wasn't mine either. They ate some weed, and I knew they ate weed because immediately their eyes were like bloodshot. I was like, I think she's fucking stoned. But they get so fucked up from it. Like, I would rather do it. You know what I mean? Do I have a choice? What does he have?
He says either you or all your dogs are getting high.
What does he have, though? I want to know what's on the menu.
Okay, so if Satan shows up, right?
Yeah.
Let's think about what kind of drugs Satan's going to fucking
He's got to have
party,
crack because it's
right?
the devil's dick
Like,
that you're sucking on, right?
I
That's
think
what we
that's
say,
like
right?
possible.
if you have like an angel bringing something to a party, the angel's bringing like wine
Molly.
and like weed and Molly, right? He's
Yeah, she's
bringing
bringing
happy
Molly.
drugs.
Yeah.
Happy
And
drugs.
LSD.
No, that's like a Satan one.
No,
for
I don't
sure.
believe that.
Satan doesn't want you to have a bad time.
But listen, Satan. No,
he wants you to have a good time.
okay, but I think Satan's bringing the deadly shit. He's bringing fentanyl.
No, he
Satan-
don't want you to die. He wants you
Okay,
to suffer.
well, my Satan
okay.
is bringing.
That's a good
Okay,
point.
so that actually is a good point. But I think that Satan would bring something like ketamine, like a lot of it. Like, because have you ever been in a K-hole? K-hole's the worst hole to be in, dude. Awful. Have you done ketamine?
I did by accident.
Yeah. And did you get in a K-hole?
Yeah, I shot it up.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So Satan's a ketamine user.
I loved it. It was wonderful.
Oh, really?
I loved
Yeah.
K. I loved K too. I loved
Oh,
it.
bro.
It was just like I was just sitting there and been just like almost separated from my body, and then I was kind of like looking at myself, but like not feeling anything, but just feeling great at the
Yeah,
same
I wasn't
time.
expecting it at all. I was sitting like again. I was running with a group, you know, like mafia, right? So in South Africa, we call gay guys morphies. So this was the mafia because it was a
I don't know
mafia.
why that's so funny,
It was
but
a
it is.
mafia of gay dudes, right?
A gay mafia.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this is just how they rolled. It was like a big shit, you know.
Gay
I'm
South African
exposing a
mafia.
lot. Well, you know
The
what?
Mafies.
Honestly, they're all dead to the exclusion of one guy.
Okay, but what did the
Chunky.
gay mafia do?
So
what did they
I
sell?
was just a little concerned about the content I'm giving. So what happened is, oh my God, we had manufacturing crystal meth by the ton, literally by the ton, right? And we had a precursor to that called methcathinone, which is a wonderful thing. It's like cocaine, way better. No, come down, blah blah blah. Do not try this at home, motherfuckers. Okay. So we started producing this shit and made a lot of money. Made a lot of money. And for like shits and giggles, being like the prim of the prim, we would shoot heroin or anything. So we'd shoot meth and Valium and pethidine. So pethidine is like a high end.
Okay, let's not give any ideas.
I'm getting into the ketamine though.
Okay.
So this one gay guy was infatuated with me, Werner, rest his soul. He was like, oh, and I want to shoot you up this time, you know. I'm like,
Oh, that's cute.
and I was like, and I didn't trust him for shit. I was like, fuck, Vern, because I knew he was jealous about this deal I had with Reg. You know, he wanted in, he didn't get in. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. All right, Werner, go for it. And I'm there, and he shot me up with ketamine.
Oh shit.
But I like hallucinogenics and fucking disassociative so much. I just like blew back, and I was like, oh, shit, that was not pethidine. And as I'm coming to, Chunky, who's still alive, I love Chunky. He's the godfather, right?
Is he
He's
a
walking
Mafi?
out in a gimp suit with this fucking black mask. And I didn't even know he wore these kind of things. He used to go to raves dressed like this.
What's a gimp suit?
A gimp suit.
Like
you don't know what a
like
gimp suit is?
No.
It's like,
Like
the camouflage thing.
No, a gimp. Oh my God, guys. It's a full leather fucking
Oh,
tight
it's just
strap
got the
with
mouth right
studded
here?
balls and a fucking thing in your mouth and a black hooded mask. And you don't know a gimp suit?
Wow.
Yeah, he's walking out of the room in this fucking gimp suit walking towards me. And I'm like bawling out. I'm like, no, Chunky, no, no, because I can't move. And I'm in this, and I know it's him. I'm like, don't you fucking dare, dog. And he didn't, obviously. He walked past.
What part of South Africa was this? So I can like
This was in Sunny Hill.
Avoid.
Sunny Hill. Is that Joburg?
Sunny
Cape
Hill.
Town?
It's northern Johannesburg. It's like a expensive area.
Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
The Mafies.
Okay, so
That was my first ketamine.
You'd get
First
your
and
dogs
last.
high. Or you'd get high over your dogs. All right,
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
went. We went down the Satan hole right
Yeah.
there. Okay, so What is, in 1 minute, what's your favorite fucking part of sobriety?
Oh shit, that's a pause.
Yeah.
Favorite part of sobriety is waking up sober, man. And there's too many. 1 minute. Connections, relationships. That's my biggest thing. Paramount of everything is the relationships I get now. The connections. Legitimate connection to you and everything. Just being part of and being present. Like
I love it.
I love
that's
it too.
Yeah.
That's good. Good answer.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you don't feel like you have any fucking connections, you should probably get sober, dude. You know what I mean? Probably get sober. Okay. Got another one here, dude. Okay. If you could get one free day of drug use a year, I used to fantasize about this when I was newly sober. I was like, man, I've been sober for years. Like, I should get one free day, like your birthday. You know what I mean? Where like, it's all about you. So like, if you could get one free day of drug use per year, what are you taking? Who are you taking it with? And I want to hear the story. Dude.
Oh my God, one a day. I mean,
One a
day
year.
only. 1 day only.
One day only.
Okay, so the first thing would just to get.
You're
it
gonna
off
wake up, and
would
then what are you
be-
gonna have?
Okay, I'd wake up in the Amazon or somewhere around there, right? I'd be in the tribe where there's little pink dolphins and shit in the water there because they got this wonderful affiliation to the tribesmen. They wear their vaginas around their neck and they have this wonderful like relationship thing. I would go and have like ayahuasca, get completely fucked up with a shaman, go make out with a dolphin. And, just for the sake of doing it, because it just sounds so intriguing. I mean, I'm not into fucking animals, but I'd definitely get fucked up on ayahuasca, bang a dolphin, and just hang out in the forest. That'll be the year one. I'm already planned on year two.
Okay, what's year two?
Year two.
What's year two?
I don't know. Hold on. I'm too excited about it.
Yeah,
That's
this
a
is
problem.
great.
I'm a little
I
excited.
love how you went from making out with the dolphin to fucking the
Bang
dolphin.
So year two. Oh, I'd probably do something really dingy. I've never done PCP, like something really hard.
Oh,
Yo,
it's
you want to
bad.
get wet?
Yeah, so I'd go into like a really hard, like Germany. Let's go to Germany, and I'd go into like an underground, like heavy metal, like thrash death metal club, like,
Yeah.
and just do like some fucking copious amount of PCP.
Okay.
Because I hear you can get like really aggressive and just fuck everyone up, just like headbutt, like,
Yeah.
just to get that like Marvel superhuman effect.
You
know?
just went the total opposite from
Yeah.
the first.
And you, like-
experience.
Just 'cause
It's
I've never
pretty
done
cool.
it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because
Yeah.
I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I'm always like, am I going to take a trip today? I'm going to smoke
I could
crack
see
today.
you. I could see you in the audience, just like spitting on people's faces and like rubbing it in, like gently.
Dragging guys around by
Just
their
rubbing-
hair and
yeah.
fucking kicking them in the balls
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
kneeing
Yeah.
and spitting
Just
on
having
people.
blood all over his
Okay.
face.
What's
Yeah.
year three? What's year three? Hear it.
Oh man, I'd probably go back to psychedelics, and I love the bush, man. It's just something about the bush. So I'd probably, acid. I haven't done liquid acid. I hear about it out here a lot. I've dropped maybe 2 caps at most, but I have a thing for acid. So I'd have, rewind. So I'd get some flower from California, some RS11 or Zob, like some fire fucking weed that I could probably never smoke because it's too strong. I would take that, go get this liquid acid vial, and go to like a Tiesto concert, bro, on the beach. I'd go to south of France. I'd go to like Greece has got wonderful beach clubs. I'd go there, probably have like, some fucking super rave DJ playing. Drop this fucking acid, and I know when it's about to kick in, I just light that fucking weed up, and it just shoots me next
And then
dimension.
what would you be wearing?
That was my question.
What I'd be wearing, it really wouldn't matter at that point. I'd probably be naked, which I've done before at a club there.
No.
Yeah. We had
walked in naked?
little Louis Vega.
I could see you dressed like Jesus on acid.
No, I used to wear like shorts, boxing shoes, and a what do you call it? A wife beater
That
with a
it's an African thing.
with a bandana,
Yeah.
right? And I went there on a modeling contract. I think I was like 20, 21. And because I'm there with like 40 girls, international models, would all stay in the same hotel, like me and Raven, 2 guys, and all these girls, one hotel. So yeah, you can play that movie through. And we would get to go to every club, free tables, free dinners, everywhere because they just wanted us there. So we went to this club. And I think we didn't have any cocaine. He had a bunch of Ritalin. So I was like, fuck it, I've never tried this, but let's smash that shit up. Smash it up, bump that shit, get there. It's all this vodka. By the end of the night, or not even by 2 a.m., I was naked in the ocean with all these girls. It was wonderful. It was great. So I'd probably try and revisit that somehow, but with acid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll work on the next 3 while we're going through.
I mean, I gave up my fantasies early because I had these oh man, we should get a free day every year and like what mine would look like, but they were nothing Like they were vivid, but they were nothing like getting in fucking dolphins in the Amazon.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it
Yeah.
just sounds, I couldn't believe people do that. I'm like, God damn it.
I mean, like I would like to go up with like the Eskimos and then like sleep with polar bears.
you're not
and
allowed to
shit.
say that. It's Inuit.
Yeah, Eskimo. I like Eskimo.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like, it's,
Yeah,
They're
I mean, I
Eskimos,
wonder if
though.
there's any AA meetings in igloos.
they're like, what did you just say? Did
you
you
know,
say Eskimo?
That's another thing
My
about
sister
like
just
meetings.
went there. They went to stay in an igloo in fucking Iceland or something. They have like a whole trip. It's quite expensive. You go out there, you
But-
live in an igloo, and they serve you dinner, and it's quite an experience.
An AA meeting in an igloo. I mean, I've been to meetings on 4 continents: Australia, Asia, and Europe. Right.
Okay.
But I've never like, I mean, like, and they're all pretty much the fucking same. I've been to a meeting in Belgium where they only spoke German, and I had no fucking clue what they were saying. It was my 2 years sober, and but I knew. I heard them share. Like you could hear the pitch of the German,
Really?
and you're like, that fool's suffering, and he's a newcomer.
Wow.
You know, and that guy right there just got a promotion at work and he's fucking grateful. And then that guy over there is like the guy that shares at every fucking meeting and everyone's like sick of his shit. And then like the 7th tradition comes by and instead of putting like dollars, because like we have $1 bills, they put €1 coins in, which is like weird because like I don't ever put coins in the basket, but like it's a weird feeling.
Okay.
Did you did
like tithings.
so this was your second year, like your birthday,
So-
right?
Yeah, my 2nd year birthday.
So when the end of the meeting, do they have any kind of like chip system?
Yeah, they give you
or-
a chip. And I don't remember if the chip was in German or if it was a fucking English
How
chip.
did you
Must have
know?
been
How did you
German.
know when they went to the anniversary? So you just didn't. How did you
No,
know that
I
you
got
didn't pick up
brought
like a
there.
6-month chip?
So I got brought there by a guy. So I was
Oh, okay.
I was in Belgium.
You left that part out.
And I called the what's it called, the AA hotline. You know, people share the
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah.
I never called the AA hotline before to like find a meeting. I called the AA hotline. The guy's like, okay, cool, meet me here at this train station.
Oh, he picked you up?
Yeah, no, he met me at the train station, and then we walked to the meeting.
Cool.
And we were walking down like alleys because you know Europe's like very like fucking
love Europe.
medieval kind of.
Love it.
Right, very similar to St. Augustine, but like
Yeah.
you're walking down these cobblestone roads and it's like dark out and cold.
wonderful.
And then
You gotta go, Kyle.
I thought I was
Yeah,
gonna
no
get
shit.
raped. I thought I was.
You were a little
getting
nervous,
raped.
but
No,
you're
you'd-
probably
you'd
excited.
be lucky to be raped in girls are smoking. In
No,
Germany,
dudes. There was a dude.
Oh, there was a dude?
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going down, and then they're
Well,
gonna.
you never know.
They're
I
gonna
mean,
bang me with PCP,
might have
and
just
then I'm
liked
gonna
it.
wake up dressed like a gimp,
in a gimp suit.
in a
yeah.
gimp suit,
Yeah.
and then so
With the
that's
ball
what
stuff
happened.
down
That'll be
around.
fun, bro. You're in a cage and you're like hanging on fucking
No.
it's chained up, and all these guys are like panting
Sounds
around
terrible.
you.
And then spitting on me,
I can
and then
see him
you're on
reacting to that,
PCP. Now I'm fucked up. Okay,
Yeah.
my next using dream is gonna be fucked up by you.
Wow.
But yeah, okay, cool. So here's a good one, right? Somebody just asked this. If somebody has a friend or family member out there that they think needs to stop drinking or using, how would you advise them or their friend to get their family member sober, right? A minute pitch. What are you going to tell them,
Oh my god.
right?
Shit,
So
what are you
you're
gonna
telling the family member,
family
not
member,
the person.
Yeah, the family member, how they should get their family member
Okay.
sober
Oh,
or friend.
I would just say, you know what? Just fucking leave him. Just throw him in the street.
Really?
Yeah,
Some detachment shit.
absolutely.
Okay, but let's
works.
say
That works.
Let's say that it's not there yet. You've identified a problem before.
Okay,
it's like
so I
affecting
would
you.
identify what he's using, right?
Okay.
Well, it says he's using crystal meth. I'll say, great. I'm gonna go put him in a room, lock him up, and just fucking mainline that motherfucker with so much fucking meth that he has like some huge drug-induced
No, you
psychosis.
can't tell a
completely
mom to
fuck him up.
spank. You can't tell a mom
He has
to
such
smoke
a
him up
wild,
with some
he has
meth.
such a wild
I love
fucking
you,
nut.
Owen. Dude.
He's
You're
such
my
a
Wild
favorite.
fucking nut.
Yeah.
He'll never want to do it again. You just fucking
Okay.
scare the living shit out of him.
I mean, I understand that, and I agree with it to a degree, but I'm not banging my
I'm
kid up with
motivated by
more.
fear. I know fear moves people.
Right? I think like you
Being
know,
loving doesn't move people
it
in that
doesn't.
position.
Like people like
You
the
can't
intervention.
love someone better.
The intervention's not going to work. Obviously,
Yeah.
your love hasn't worked for X amount of years, so it's not going to help them get sober.
No.
But I do think that there are things where you could introduce them to sober people. Like we were talking about, how would you get Britney Spears
Not
sober?
interested.
Right. Okay, but hear me out. So, how would you get Britney Spears sober? Right. You got to make them think it's their idea. So, introduce them. Like, for example, if us three went to go hang out with, like, you know, some 25-year-old kid that's like, you know, close to bottoming out,
Yeah.
that should be sober. If like we're hanging out with him having a fucking good time, he's gonna be attracted to the program. He's gonna be attracted to the fucking idea of getting sober.
I see what you're
and
thinking.
he might think the seed where of like, oh man, I felt at home with these guys. I felt good with these guys. They're sober. In order to keep hanging out with them, I should consider sobriety.
Sure.
And he's more likely to make the jump earlier before crashing
Sure,
and
if
burning.
he's considering something about he having a problem, there's
Well,
two
a lot
different
of
animals
people-
are dealing with it. The one is like a mom concerned about a kid kid on drugs, and a mom concerned about a kid on drugs, and the kid is concerned about the drugs he's on too.
Well, I mean, I'll be okay. So I'll give
There's
my
that level,
experience
right?
here. I never thought I could be sober, right? I thought I was just one of the people. I'd be fucking at 8 in the morning. I'd be up from a bender the night before, and I'd be driving on the freeway in traffic in California. And then I'd be looking at these people, and I'm like, I could never have a job in the morning. Like I'm never gonna be that guy. I'm not capable. So I just felt hopeless. But had I met a group of guys like us that like weren't capable, were hopeless,
Sure.
and got better,
Yeah.
then I could have considered the possibility that maybe I too could improve or get better. And I would have been more open to the idea of it. But I didn't know that there was something that could help or
Got it.
fix me.
Yeah.
Right. So if I was around guys
You've
that had
been
been
exposed
fixed,
to that, sure.
right. So I think that the exposure is a good in. Just the idea to let them know that, like, hey, it is capable. Like it is possible.
I had the
no,
same
yeah.
experience. I did because I had no idea. I'm 34 years old. I just hit a year.
Wow.
A little over a year ago, I had no idea what the program was. Not interested. You know, my parents knew I had an issue, but the one thing that they told me, and they'll say today, is that the difference they see now is that I admit that I have an issue. I have a problem, you know, and that I have to take care of this problem. And that's the desire that I have to come attack it with, because I didn't know about a program. Wasn't interested, you know. But once I was introduced to it, and it gets back to the point of, like, you know, when I asked how you felt, like what was that point of the, you know, what was different this time? What was different for me was I was tired. You know, I was tired of the struggle. I was tired of feeling like shit. I was tired of life getting me down. It was being tired. Like, that was, you know, I had many bottoms, but being tired and wanting something different.
Do you think if you would have, let's say Owen and I would have invited you to hang out, and like you got sober at 33, 34, right? But let's say like you were like, what age were you really like using the most? Like,
right. So I heavily through my 20s with opiates. And
so
then,
if you would have met us in your 20s when you knew, like,
Yes.
fuck, the beast got me. So if you would have met us, and then we would have been sober and an example and accepted you and yada yada, do you think you would have considered sobriety earlier?
oh, 100%.
Okay.
And right now, as a perfect example, I have a friend that's in our group that's at that age where I ended up going on the run, you know, instead of facing my problems and thinking that I had it under control and that I'll just take care of it later on.
Yeah.
And my friend, he's going through that right now, and he understands this is a problem and struggles and everything. But the difference between him and me at that age, 25, 26, was I didn't have a group of people that cared about me, you know, and I didn't think there was a way out. And I didn't feel like I was wanted or anything like that. And it doesn't go back into like, they don't get me or anything like that. It was like just didn't know. I didn't know it existed.
And honestly, that I think is the fucking essence of shit-faced sober.
Right.
Is that there's so many people that are sober or in recovery that don't show it publicly or that aren't vocal about their sobriety publicly. And there's this line, no matter how far down the scale we had gone, we saw how our experience could benefit others, right? Like if we are public, or like I have helped so many more people by being publicly sober, because they would contact me and say, hey, Jeff, I have a problem. Oh, cool. Come live on my couch. Or, hey, Jeff, my son or my friend or somebody has a problem, right? Because I'm publicly sober. And like breaking the stigma of sobriety, and like, you know, the reason I think so many people aren't vocal about their sobriety is because they're worried about the judgment.
Yeah,
they're worried about
big.
being labeled an addict or an alcoholic or whatever, because the public doesn't understand what our life's like today. Today, all three of us are successful. We're sober today. We help other people. We're self-supportive. We fucking have businesses. We employ people, yada, yada,
Service
yada.
work.
But the truth is that if we are able to break that stigma and be publicly sober, we are going to be able to make it attractive to so many more people earlier.
Right.
So instead of getting sober at 34, they can get sober at 26 before they're, you know, stealing your lawnmower from your yard and pawning it, before they're, you know, their grandma's dying without seeing their grandson draw a sober breath,
Right.
without fucking dolphins
I
in
never
the
stole
Amazon.
a lawnmower.
Yeah, but there's people out there.
People out
you
there.
know.
You know, I
Really?
see a lot of lawnmowers on Craigslist, and you know those things aren't being, you know what I mean? You know where they came
Well, we
from.
went into a good example. We went into Home Depot one time. You know, shout out Home Depot for having everything you need in one place. You know what I mean? And so we were walking down the aisle, and this lady came up, was working there, and was like, they just stole a generator. They just grabbed some bolt cutters from another aisle, came in there. They had a thing like
Yeah,
these people.
generator makes sense.
Yeah,
you
but-
know. I'd grab a generator.
What generator,
You know.
But
lawnmower?
That's
the
good
fact,
money.
the point is they got it probably within they knew what they were going after. They're obviously not sober, you know, because who in their sober mind, that's just a fucked up person.
to
first
go
of all.
jack a generator.
Yeah, and then to be that specific, knew where the bolt cutters was, and then go in and cut it out and gone within 5 minutes.
But if that guy would have met us sooner,
Yeah.
or knew that we were here sooner, then he may not have stolen the generator.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
taking
So-
a Tesla.
Public sobriety, I know, but yeah, but public,
He
Right.
could be sober as all hell, man.
But
he
public-
just knows what he's doing.
but public sobriety, I think, has the opportunity to help so many more people and to stop so much more pain. Right.
No
and
doubt.
so,
No, I get
like,
it.
if you're sober out there, like, I think going public with your sobriety is not just like brave and courageous and great, and you deserve to be that sober person you are, or like that example that you've learned to become. But like, it's also, we got this gift and it's our responsibility to share it. And if we can, like, you know, if we could slow down the pain or the progression of someone else's suffering and their family suffering and their business, like, owners surrounding in their community suffering, then we have the real opportunity to, like, help the fucking community.
Yep.
Right.
You're giving somebody tools.
There it is. Showing them what's up.
I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to be like us? You know
Yeah,
what
no
I'm saying?
shit.
There's
Yeah, I
probably there was a time where, like, I was 18 and I was like, fuck those fools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, like, anything after 22, I'd be like, dude, these guys are tight. You
Well,
know
that's
what I mean?
the most attractive thing for me is, you know, was coming in and finding somebody that I could not relate with on, like, you know, a day-to-day basis, because, you know, let's face it, me and you are like completely different. Like the way
Yes.
we think, the way we're
Chalk and
wired.
cheese.
And but like, I look at you and I'm like, successful, you know, what, you know, he's obviously successful. He's got 12 years sober. I want what this guy's got. He's got a lot of knowledge, you know, and same with you, 2 years, and the amount of stuff like me and you've talked about, you know, has helped me. You know what I mean? Because I still battle with certain things, and it's like, you know, I can go to different people with different
The
things.
battle is real. The
Yeah.
battle is real. The difference is we're not fighting alone.
Right.
yeah.
That's
And there's
when
like,
I'm in addiction and when I'm not connected, I'm alone. And I'm taking it all on, trying to work it all out, trying to fucking, I'm gonna Google search this and fucking self-help book this. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna, sorry, man, just ain't gonna work.
Yep. That
When I'm
connected.
connected and I'm held accountable and I have you fuckers playing with my feet
Yeah,
under
right.
the camera
Check
like
this
this,
out.
and it gets all like super friendly and I'm okay with it and I'm not getting a hard on, it's all good.
you know, one thing I
You
do,
know?
I love it.
I do think, okay, I want to say thank you on behalf of the world to, like, South Africans and Africans in general, because I think most of the drugs that were tried for the first time were found in Africa.
Yeah.
There were people out there that would go around smoking everything.
Everything. And
They would
people were
just
dying and
smoke
getting
them.
rashes and
People
shit.
died for the cause.
Really?
I'm sure. Yeah,
bro.
man. You got to try it.
Someone
somehow.
had to.
Where did
Someone
you-
had to point at weed and be like, "Okay, we're smoking that today, and then we're gonna see what happens." And someone pointed at a fucking eucalyptus plant or pointed at a
I think
fucking.
if I just saw weed, I would want to smoke it or eat it
Or
or something. It's
yeah,
such a
but you
fucking
know, there was
beautiful
probably
plant.
somebody in that group that had to boof it or
You
something.
got to think
know what
about
I mean?
the
Like,
guy that
straight
tried out
up.
all the fucking mushrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some died.
That's
That's
the guy
I
wanna
like
speak
that
to.
guy.
They
Yeah.
did it, and he was probably African. So thank you guys for doing the
I
research.
don't know. I mean,
But here's the-
Amanita comes from what, Serbia? That's where Santa
but here's
Claus
the
came
thing
from,
about
bro.
the-
You got a lot of Russians out there trying this shit too.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the mushrooms, right? So there's so many varieties of them. You have to have a group of people that's like, all right, we got this amount of mushrooms. One guy's gonna be the lucky one getting the
good shit.
psychedelics. Other four are dying. You know what I
Well,
mean?
honestly,
Like,
there's not a
and
lot.
they
you
might
need to
die or they might just get the
consume-
shits. You know?
need to consume a lot of toxic mushrooms to die.
Well, no, there's some that just kill you,
You
off a
know.
very small
Or get you
dose.
really sick.
But I mean,
there?
there was a human
Absolutely.
effort in identifying poisonous and non-poisonous
Mm,
shit, and I'm grateful for that, because now I don't have to run around looking at berries and shit when I'm at Publix or at grocery store, because the research's all been done for me by guys in South Africa.
Oh yeah, now you don't worry about the poison. now you don't have to worry about the berries poisoning you. It's the poison on top of the berries that's killing you.
Yeah,
right
no
now.
shit.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
you know, but at
another
the end of
rabbit
the
hole.
day, thank you guys for fucking doing the research
Yeah,
and taking,
no worries,
taking one
man.
for the team.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'm always, I think
I-
I've done my service.
Yeah, I like to thank the Mafis out there in South Africa. Those are some real
Bro, I
motherfuckers
want
out
the
there.
Mafis. I want the
Morphe.
Mafis.
Morphe.
Morphe?
It's a
Morphe.
Morphe. Jeg ser det, synes det er Morphe.
Like I've heard of Russian mafia, Serbian,
Men jeg kan spejle lidt for det
Albanian.
Morphes net, så jeg vet, nej. ni problemi so.
But look, you're speaking shit we don't get right now, which cool, you know, that's tight. But like, I've never heard of the gay mafia, and I think that that's cool. I think that's a dope. Like, we should have gay mafia in America.
That's how they want it to be known. They don't want to be known.
I think
you know
the
what
gay
I mean?
mafia,
like, you know,
I don't
we're
think
blowing the lid on
you
shit
get an
right
inside
now.
scoop. This is like an exclusive. You know
And
what I'm
honestly, like, I think a lot of like police departments and like, you know, government agencies would be like really not wanting to like, you know, fuck with the gay mafia, because then they could like be like, it would just be like, oh, you're persecuting or you're fucking whatever. So like the gay mafia is a super protected organization, which is probably why we haven't heard about them yet. They're doing their shit like right. You know what I mean? It's like the Italians back in the day.
Well, you know, they're probably
You
and they're well dressed. They probably like top of line everything. Like, you know, I want to hang out with those
I think
people.
like
I really do.
Jeffree Star is in the gay mafia, dude.
Yeah.
true.
You know who Jeffree Star
No,
is?
I don't know who Jeffree Star
Oh,
is.
you don't know who Jeffree Star
No.
is? Oh, dude, he was like the biggest on MySpace back in the day. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Like,
okay.
did you have MySpace?
No.
Oh, you guys didn't have MySpace
No,
in
I'm from
South
Africa,
Africa,
baby.
What did you have there?
We had trees and animals and shit.
Oh, so you had
Tree
like that
houses.
was your social media.
Yeah.
Just like meet me at this tree.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't social media,
Meet
nothing,
me at
bro.
the bush.
Yeah, in the
You
bush.
have different kinds
You
of
know?
bushes.
No, ride around on your bicycles and go and fucking hunt
Do you? Let me
snakes
ask
and
you a
shit.
question right now. Do you
Well, not
feel at
hunt,
home?
catch.
Do you feel at home with this like right next to
No,
you?
it's plastic.
But it looks like a bush.
But it looks like a bush.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a palm tree.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know.
You're not in the
There's no
oasis.
palms
Well,
in the bush.
Funny, I went to Joburg. Like, I used to work in vape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, fucking, I went to Joburg for like a vape conference, and like, I met a few guys that were in the program sober in fucking Joburg, dude. You know, shout out to the guys, the boys and girls sober in South Africa.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
Like it
You know,
shows
it's a
that you
huge
can do it
community.
anything.
NA is probably bigger for that community than AA is like old school South Africa. It's almost like the fucking church.
Good question here.
You know.
Good
Yeah, it
question.
is.
Why do you prefer AA over NA? And full blast this one, because I think this is a good one.
I love this question.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
well, I've never tried NA here. Well, I've tried it once. It wasn't too bad, but AA I think had longer sobriety and it was more conducive for me as opposed to NA. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking
No,
for.
no.
No.
So like a good answer for me, the reason I go to AA over NA is because like when I got sober, I was trashy person. I was gross. I was wearing dirty jeans. I definitely, you know, was just a scummy person. And so it's not like, oh, AA was cleaner and I wanted to be clean, because that's true. Like I go to an NA meeting versus an AA meeting. I think like, you know, both of them are good. But the point is that when I went to AA, like you said, there was more sobriety there and there was more like solution. Like, hey, if you want to stop, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And like I heard way more like drug talk when I was in NA, which was like triggering for me. And I didn't want to talk about that. And I feel like, you know, just in general, like the length of, you know, the recovery in an AA meeting, like if you added it all up, is higher than that of an NA, even though I was going in for drugs.
Well, maybe. I
knew-
mean, NA's a lot younger than AA.
Well,
And there's definitely way more AA meetings than NA meetings, you know, in NA's
that's another good,
defense,
yeah, truth.
you know.
You know, so for
I
me,
don't
the
think it's-
the whole AA thing, you know, I can just sum it up with AA and working that kind of program will fit with literally every human in the world.
Yes.
And that's whether they're, you know, to work on yourself as far as, you
But
know,
it never used to be like that.
no,
You
but
couldn't
today,
identify with drugs or anything other than alcohol in an AA meeting. Therefore, I couldn't. And if
I'm
I did, I
saying-
would just say like I'd sorry to jump in, but I'd have to say like my ampules that I used to shoot up with pethidine were bottles. So I'd just use the word, oh, I went through so many bottles and blah blah blah, just to try and like blend in with Alcoholics Anonymous.
right. I get that.
Where
My
NA
point
like,
is,
look, let me
my
talk about
point
my
is,
drugs.
even the average person that's not in recovery, that that wouldn't identify with even a problem. They're not even a problem drinker or a user.
Mm.
Maybe they're social, could benefit from working steps.
Oh,
No,
anyone,
that's a great-
everyone could benefit.
So
from
That's
the
what I'm
fucking
saying.
Okay,
steps.
so here's a good one, right? I
Everyone
love what you
should
just
be on
said.
the fucking steps.
I think everybody would
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, so but like check
Everyone
this out.
should have a fucking program.
This is a
Right.
good thing for Shitface Sober, right? This is like a part of our mission, right? If you're out there and you're using drugs, let's face it, I've only been drunk like 100 times
if you're
in my whole
using
life.
anything,
Okay, but hear me,
Alcoholic
follow me
or
here, right?
like a drug.
So I came in here, I'd only been drunk 100 times. I didn't think I belonged in AA because I hadn't even been drunk that much.
Sure.
My problem
Right.
was drugs. And I think 98% of people under 30 getting sober right now have drugs problems because they're more economic and they're more fun. That being said, if you're not wanting to go to AA because you're primarily using drugs, I'm here to tell you that AA will work for you.
Yeah.
And that's all of our experience. Were you mostly drugs or alcohol?
Drugs, baby.
Mostly drugs or alcohol?
Drugs.
Right?
My mom even tells
Did
me,
AA
she said,
work
I
for
don't
you?
I
know.
blacked out once from drinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
did AA work for you?
It still works for me.
Okay, did AA work for you?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Absolutely. So if your fucking excuse to sit there and protect your fucking using and drinking or just your using is that AA is for alcoholism, like, no, it's for fucking everything. And to your points, I agree. If everyone in fucking America worked the steps and everybody had a spiritual awakening and it was as accountable for their actions and had a reflection period and meditation and all this shit
And
that
worked,
we learned,
worked through that
they
inventory.
would be better
Utopia.
people.
Right.
We would be
Utopia.
better people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I love that. That's one of the things that's like everyone's like, oh, it's a cult. You're gonna get a
But
brainwash.
no one's going to do it unless they find a desperate need
I agree.
to do it.
Well, there's
Because
some
it
special
seems like
people
so
out
much
there.
fucking
Yeah.
Like, I could
arithmetic
see
here.
Joe Rogan working the
Yeah, no,
steps. and-
100%. I mean, to that point, is the ex-sheriff of St. Johns County. He's very well read. People that are very well read and know this book, you know, he's not in recovery, but I guarantee you this man has worked the steps because he understands and he wants to understand the other side too, because there are people out there like that. Now that just gives, you know, this just brings up that idea to it that, hey, let me try this out. Like, it's like a fasting, or it's like a new diet or something like this, like, you know, a 30-day trial of, like,
It's
you
just
know
like
what
a
I mean?
course, you
Like,
know?
there
Yeah.
are people out there that like to self-improve
Exactly.
without pain.
If it doesn't,
Alcoholics and addicts, we need pain to take uncomfortable action. There are just people out there that like being uncomfortable. Dudes that climb Everest. Everest ain't fucking comfortable, dog,
Right.
but they chase the uncomfortability for growth. We're programmed different. We like pain. So if you're out there and you like fucking pain to change, you probably should fucking be
or
with
just
us.
or just to try something different. You know what I mean? To really work on self and
But
have a
the
reflection.
caveat is, and you're not representing this, the caveat is it can't be done alone.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it can't be.
Oh, no, you have to participate,
You,
yeah.
you can't go and read the book and apply these steps on your own accord, because it's not how it's done.
Well, here's the thing
the whole
too. Like,
premise
You're
of
right.
the thing is finding a connection.
yeah. So you
And
can
the connection is found through being completely open and honest with someone
Well, you
else.
could
Well,
do
here's-
it in Al-Anon. I mean,
And
Al-Anon's
I'm
a
not
great
talking
example.
about a priest, right?
Yeah.
Or let's just be real here. It's another human being, because what that's doing is deflating an ego that I've cultivated through the course of my life, that is a bunch of layers and protections and defense mechanisms that is all bullshit. And someone needs to see that, and the only way someone gets to see that is by me telling them exactly what it is.
Well, here, so
Right.
case in point, our man Tyler back here, right? Not sober, but you don't have a issue or problem drinking. You're not drinking every day. You're not waking up craving drugs or anything like that, right? I think Tyler would benefit to doing a step work with somebody like Jeff or somebody like you, right? And be willing to do that. Now, that would take away from, like, you know, either one of you saying like, oh, well, you got to be sober doing it. Like, you would have to understand, like, this person's in it to learn more about themselves, right? Maybe they'll have a spiritual awakening and something will happen as a result of it. But it is a good experiment, I think. I think that would be worth doing. So if you're willing to try that.
No, it's being accountable. Bottom line, I think the whole thing is being accountable and sharing that experience and developing the connections. That's my experience, at least, and I think that's something you don't get when you're in, per se, addiction, alcoholism, or gambling, or sex,
Right.
or eating, or shopping, or fucking the myriad of addictions that we have.
Yes.
Like, there's so many.
I have a
And
shoe
we-
problem
and we
I
all-
have a gambling
We
problem.
all have them, and
Like
to the point-
100%.
to the point where it's destructive.
Yeah.
There's some point, and it doesn't have to be abundantly destructive. It's destructive in time. Like, we don't get a lot
Right.
of this stuff. Like, time is limited, bottom line, right? I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. So the whole point is, how do I get to embrace and be embodied and be present completely right now, right now and right here, right?
That was a little
That's
Florida
it, because
accent.
we are all very disconnected.
Right.
That's why I'm affected by you pulling in front of me in the traffic. Why I'm affected by you taking so long to cash this motherfucker out while I'm waiting in line. It's all about this me prism that we think with this fucking omnipotent fucking force that's roaming this planet that needs to all fucking rotate around me. We all, to some degree, have this fucking selfish self-centeredness.
Yep.
So if we get to see beyond that and develop this connection, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm really not that important. And you know what? It's actually better for me to know that now. You know, I'm not taking any of my, you know, myself away by this, but I'm actually expanding myself through this because I am part of you. We're all part of the same shit. And if
Great
we
point.
just fucking join together in this thing, we'd be accomplishing way more. But because of the segregation and the blocks that we put each other in, political or whatever, religious or whatever background, ethnic, blah, 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 that's just fucking giving fuel to the fire of me not being the same as you.
Right.
And here, let me tell you why. You know, instead of like, let's just boil this straight down to the fucking bottom. If I put a fucking hole in you, no matter who you are, you're dropping.
Right.
Oh, well, there's a similarity. Okay, let's follow along those lines. That was a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But my point is,
Yeah.
like, we all have the same color blood, all of that shit. Now let's get a little deeper into this. We all have the same needs. We
I like
all have the
that.
same desires to some degree, and we all need each other. Bottom line. So fuck, I need you, you need me, motherfuckers. Stay tuned. Next week, same time.
Nah, I like that.
Mic drop.
Okay, now, you know, just to close it up, man, I fucking love everything you've had to say. Honestly, fucking
Yes.
home run.
Thank you.
Home fucking run. But just like if you were talking to somebody that's, you know, normal or that, you know, is considering going sober, that maybe doesn't have a problem, maybe they do, who fucking knows, but like you have a 30-second pitch to give them on, you know, why being sober and spiritual and like everything that you've found here, what's your pitch?
The pitch is, you know what, bottom line, you're never going to experience it, but you can do it vicariously through someone like, you know, Jeff or a show like this or people that are in this realm. So you get attracted by that by putting yourself in that ecosystem. So just try and reach out or be involved more in aligned with people of something that's attractive to you, something that you want, something you potentially think you can never have. You know, was my story. I could never have what I have now. I could never be where I am now. And the only way I am here is by being around people that have these things, that look this way.
Yeah, that's good shit.
That was
man.
the
Boom.
best 30-second pitch I've ever heard.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fucking Owen M from fucking Joburg, South Africa, bro. We're out here, shit-faced sober, bro. Listen in, tune weekly. We'll be from the bush next time, Fens. We have China's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. But you know what? I
Dude,
love it. I love you,
first
Jeff.
time-
I love you, Jeff. I love you, Owen.
Yeah,
I love,
you.
and that's
Really.
another thing
and
too.
I love you too, Tyler.
If you're not saying I love you to
Yeah.
your friends and shit, that's a thing here that I really fucking appreciate is that I was able to tell another man outside of my family here that I loved him
And meant
because
it.
of what and mean it.
Yeah, it's
I
not
was
just
able to
like,
love-
oh, I love you, bro. Like, no, like,
I love you.
I
You're
love
like
you.
family.
Like,
and
for
that's
real.
the first place I was ever able to tell another man that I loved him was from, you know, sobriety.
Okay, as long as we don't like hug now or some shit.
Oh,
No, we
I'm
could
hugging
touch
you
feet.
afterwards.
We could
Yeah,
touch
Yeah,
feet.
definitely. I'm going to leave the feet touching part out, but I'm giving you a hug.
He's got problems.
Yeah,
All
dude.
right, is that a wrap? Is that
Yeah,
it?
I'm grateful to be here,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Grateful you came,
bang,
dude.
shit
Shit face
bang,
sober,
bang.
man.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Owen.
Good job.
Check it
Peace.
out. Peace.
Yay, yay.